our next guy highlight player is Tank Dell, and I mean
Tank,
he's
tank, tank.
he's witty, quick. I mean, as far as I know, I mean, with his separation skills are I almost you could say elite. With a lot of these other guys, these other prospects from the draft, Tank Dell's was the best, separation guy coming out of the draft, and Tank Dell, he had 29 points. He was out on 61% of snaps. He had 7 targets, 5 receptions for 500 or not 500, 145 yards, 29 yards per catch, and 1 tutty. So I mean, this guy is starting to be electric. I seen a little bit in preseason. He had a couple touchdowns in preseason, a little bit. I watched that first game. He had a touchdown within one of the drives and whatnot. I was like, "Oh, okay, Tank Dell, check." So as we just mentioned before, I think this guy will be electric. I was hoping John Mechie would be kind of involved in this, but the only way I think he gets involved is it has to be an injury. I kind of was trying to hype up John Mechie. He didn't play last year, but in order for him to kind of get involved, I think somebody will have to kind of play shitty for him to get involved. So I think Mechie's on the way, kind of on the downfall right now. He's kind of not there, but
Uh,
Tank Dell surpassed him.
yeah, no, I agree. Tank Dell on the depth chart, definitely, absolutely. Nico Collins and Tank Dell, these are the young guys you build around. I think Nico's in his third year, and Tank's a rookie.
I
So yeah, you got some young guys to build around. Robert Woods would, if Michi was going to get some targets and get in there, I would assume it'd be Robert Woods's target. So and Robert Woods is older; he's 33 years old, so that's always a possibility. And maybe he doesn't keep up this renaissance. Maybe by week 9 he's shot, and back on the bench or something. So I wouldn't completely write off Michi quite yet. If you're in a 12-man league, I wouldn't have him on your bench. But if you were in like a 20-man league, just stash him on the bench, or in a dynasty, or I wouldn't lose patience quite yet with him. Guy's been through a lot, but
oh, so
we call. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I was gonna say Nico Collins is in his second year, so I mean he's
Oh,
been
that's it. Gee, yeah, yeah. Years, yeah. These guys are cheap. They're young. They're quick. Yeah. This, you know, I would have wrote off the Texans a year ago, but I mean, they might be going places. And I know they have a defensive coach, D'Amico Ryans, but he seems to know what he's doing, and the OC so far. I kind of like what's brewing down in Houston, but we called this Tank Dell thing. We've been on this for months. That's I'm wrong about some takes, but I mean this guy we were dead right on. I mean we said that this guy's gonna pop, and he single handedly, in my opinion, he got Clayton Tune, the third string guy from Arizona, or second. I guess Kyler's out, so second, the backup right now in Arizona, basically single handedly got him drafted in the 5th round, I believe.
yeah.
Because he was a Cougar, Tank Dell. I think he single handedly got him drafted. That's how good of a receiver he was. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
you
most
have a
definitely.
high end guy like this. He was because of his size. If this guy was 6'1", he would have been a top 5 pick.
Oh
So
yeah,
it,
most
it
definitely.
comes down. Sometimes it just comes down to size. Like Deuce Vaughn from Dallas. Like if he was 5'10", I mean Deuce would be the starting running back. He probably even
Oh yeah,
jumped Tony Pollard. So a
yeah,
lot of
most
this is just
definitely.
perception and size, and I get it. It's the NFL, but no, this guy's got the goods.
But yeah, this is I think this is a good thing we can probably look forward to, down the road with CJ and a Tank Dell being the next, best thing with the Texans besides seeing that Watson Hopkins thing that was a thing back with the Texans. So I think this will
before he
be
before he
overlap.
started before he started feeling up women.
So I
He
think
looked
this will
great.
be a so I think this will be a new chapter for the Texans to look forward to, with especially with Nico Collins being there as well. Um, Before we get on to our next one, but our next guy is Donovan says, "How long can Tank Dell last in NFL though?" I think I mean,
Donovan, hey, when Tyreek came in, there had to have been people saying, I mean, Tyreek's a little more muscular and he's about 5'10", so Tyreek's got a little size on him. But if you're shifty enough and you're quick enough, I mean, eventually he's going to lose that step. I mean, when he's 30, 31, he's not going to be, this level. I mean, not going to be flying around the field and, uh, but at least the next couple years, and he's cheap. He's a low round pick. They're not paying him anything. They wouldn't have to, not going to end up paying this guy until at least after his third season if he's still at this, producing at this level and keeps ascending, and then he becomes, one of those, like paid like a top 20 receiver. But I mean, for at least the next, this year and 2 years after, he's dirt cheap. Nico Collins this year and next year, dirt cheap, and the quarterback, dirt cheap. Like they got some Damian Pierce, dirt cheap. So this is the time when Houston, maybe next year they sign, like, hey, maybe Houston goes like 6-11 or something that hey, couple games better than I thought they'd be. Hey, to take that next step so we can compete with Jacksonville for the division title. And then they get some offensive line help. They maybe sign a pass rusher or draft one, or I think the Texans, it's a brighter future than if you would have asked me the same question a couple months ago. But yeah, I think Tank Dell, at least for the next couple of years, you can depend on him. Dynasty, yeah, definitely. Because I don't think, honestly, I mean, Jay, you're more of a dynasty guy than I am. I mean, I'm playing this year, but are you really thinking 6-7 years down the line, or is it more like 2 or 3? Because that's how I view dynasty, is like the NFL not for long. That's what it stands for. I'm thinking like 2 to 3 years. Is like if
Yeah, I
you're
mean, you have to look at it. You have to look at it that way. I mean, can this guy stay irrelevant for his through his 5 years? As long as CJ Stroud can stay there and be healthy and whatnot. I mean, yeah, why? I mean, I would take Tank Dell in a heartbeat. I mean, looking back at it now, I mean, I drafted a little bit differently, in Dynasty when I would take a look at it, and I'm still learning too when it comes to Dynasty too. So I'm just kind of dipping my hand into a lot of this. And when it comes to players overall, you have to think about is, you know, what is his injury contents, or I mean, what did he look like in college? How does this guy fit into an offensive system? And right now, I mean, Tank Dell looks better than John Minchie right now. I mean, even though Minchie was taken in the
absolutely.
first round, I mean, you have to look at talent wise and what can they do to bring what can they do to help the team, and that's just the way I look at it. Especially when you're building your rosters and stuff like that, even rookie drafts and stuff like that. So I mean, it's up and down. I mean, right now, I'm actually trying to tank in one of my league or dynasty leagues because
No pun
my
intended.
yeah, no point intended, but my quarterbacks suck, so I'm hoping to try to get a nice good hand in a rookie quarterback if it lands that way. So I mean, there's prospects out there that I like, and that's the way you have to view it too. I mean, especially in dynasty, you have to look at it. What can I do to win now, or are you kind of in that build mode, kind of, and that's the way I see it too. I mean, Dynasty, I'm still learning a little bit, trying to dig my hand into a lot of players and how do you evaluate some guys? That's the way I try to look at it anyways. But now on to our last and